Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the White Album 2 Mini After Story. We are currently reading through Setsuna's Route, and we are on the finale. So, when last we were here, Haruki and Setsuna had just finished their preparations for the move. They just finished packing all the boxes, and the moving company was coming in 3 hours. So they decided not to sleep because it's already 6 a.m. White Album 2 loves glorifying not sleeping. And so they decided to take a walk and kind of chat about the past. And here we are. Let's continue on. Yeah, this place hasn't changed at all either. We walked around the main gate to Hojo University and the attached high school, discussing memories of our school days, including some more disturbing matters. At the moment that we stepped into this small park, I finally began to feel the warmth of the sun's rays. Maybe because it was a residential area, or maybe because it was a gloomy place. We were the only 2 people here at this hour. But for Setsuna, and for me, it was a place where deep memories slept that we would never forget. This is where you found me out, Haruki-kun. No, I told you. I had you figured out a year before that. Apart from the fact that you were a karaoke maniac. Even now, Setsuna sometimes took me along to a karaoke place in Minami Suetsugu. What would you even do? Like, bring a book or bring some reading material or study material, because you know Setsuna's just going to be singing for like 3 hours. Look, the swings! Remember how we sat in these together? Probably better not to swing in them anymore. Your butt might get stuck and you wouldn't be able to get out. Hey, my figure hasn't changed that much. Wow, what a terrible thing to say to your young wife. That's terrible. In this place, Setsuna freely revealed her true, ordinary self and gave me a great feeling of affinity with a small, wry smile. That was the day I joined the Light Music Club, and my new daily routine began. Thanks to a certain arm-twisting chairman. A different life began for me that day. Yeah. Hey, Kitahara-kun? Huh? All of a sudden, perfectly naturally, Setsuna called me what she used to call me long ago. That's kind of cute. Because before she was comfortable enough to start calling him Haruki-kun, she called him Kitahara-kun. It's like the less friendly, sort of distanced, maybe stranger's way to call somebody. So calling him that again is kind of cheesy and romantic. Calling back to their high school years anyway. In this park, every single secret that Setsuna Ogiso once had disappeared. Because I told you all of them. A hot blast of embarrassment ran through me, causing my face to heat up in an instant. You remember, don't you? Setsuna, you're not embarrassed saying this right now? I am, extremely. When I think back on how I was then, I was very much the kind who put on a cute and innocent act. How could I forget? I mean, to be fair, she still does it as an adult. The puppy dog eyes and the crocodile tears. The magic words that should have helped me realize that she was ordinary, just like me. But in fact, drove home to me exactly what a super idol she was. Ever since then, the girl known as Setsuna Ogiso had been a friend, an idol, and an alluring woman to me all at once. I longed for her, believed we were tied together, betrayed her, ran away, slipped out of touch with her, tried to draw near again, slipped out of touch again, loved her, hesitated, loved her, wavered, loved her again. That long, long history began with those words. That paragraph really just sums up White Album 2. It literally sums up White Album 2. That small paragraph there with I longed for her. Haruki's an idiot, but I'm glad he's slowly getting his stuff together. Well, Should we head back now? While the two of us were blushing over this awkward school couple-style conversation, the time had reached 8 o'clock. Visiting all these places, talking to each other about every memory that popped up, treading back over the old ground, reflecting on it all. That was how we went. Slowly, slowly. Hey, why don't we stop by the Ogiso house for breakfast? It's not far from here at all. Wouldn't it be rude just to burst in without any prior warning? At this hour, Mom is probably already awake and making boxed lunches. Is your mother going somewhere? Yes, to help us move. My whole family is going to be showing up unannounced at the apartment building. Showing up unannounced, and yet Setsuna knows about it. So it's really just Setsuna that didn't tell Haruki about it. Now that she mentioned it, when I tried to insist that we would be fine on the day of, since we had a contractor coming, I received an extremely thorough scolding. If we were to stop by that house right now, we would probably be greeted with a mountain of onigiri that 5 people could never finish, together with plenty of omelets and sausages. That sounds delicious. He is a lucky son-in-law. Well, I guess that's the sort of place the Ogiso household is. That's just what families are like. Well, it's one form that family can take. That doesn't mean all households are like that. You don't gotta say it like that. That's extremely rude to say. Like, you are a part of the family now. You don't like that kind of household? Well, maybe a long time ago I didn't. This candid impression spilled out of my mouth against my better judgment. If I were to look them in the face and say something this excessively frank, they would probably get angry with me again. But I wouldn't really regret or amend it. Because, probably, after they got mad at me and thoroughly lectured me, they would forgive me. I firmly believed that now. Haruki-kun, you're such a busybody with everybody else, but you really don't like being meddled with yourself. Absolutely, 100% that's true. Throughout the whole story, there's so many times where if Haruki just had a good friend to kind of lead him or to put his trust in, it would have mitigated the damage, but he never allowed that to happen. It's a distortion in who I am. I'm a fundamentally mistaken person. Haruki-kun. And Setsuna, in the face of my words that could be taken as disavowing her family, accepted them with an honest attitude, different from opposition or sympathy. She accepted my distortions and all the countless errors I had committed because of them, and she still faced me in a natural manner. So I always wondered and worried, what with all the mistakes I've made, whether it was a mistake for me to have a family. You're using past tense. Yeah. So what about now? Yes, what about now? Was I still distorted? Or had I become a proper adult? Oh, this is such a big question, I feel like, in everybody's lives. Have I become a proper adult? What does it mean to become a proper adult? Adults are really just kids who are slightly taller and still trying to figure everything out without knowing what's going on. I mean, really. I guess the better question would be, is Haruki mature? Has he matured enough to have a family? That's the big question here. As I was now, could I bring happiness to the organization known as family? Not through management, not through training, but through laughing together, crying together, growing together. Could I do that? Because Haruki never let himself do that, even now, with his friends. In the last part, when Takeya and Io and Tomo came over, he didn't even, allow himself to truly enjoy their presence, in my opinion, or it took him a long time too. Because he was so angry about them showing up, whereas Setsuna was like, I'm so happy to see you. Haruki just got annoyed. He can't even allow himself to be happy with friends and family, so, no. Do I think he's ready? Maybe. Do I think he has a lot of growing up to do? Yes. I wonder. I really don't know. From this soliloquizing answer, it was clear that I hadn't reached any real confidence or conviction. Whether I can make everybody happy and have an enjoyable life together, not only with you, Setsuna, but if our family should grow further, I won't know until I try. Haruki-kun. Setsuna gazed at me, smiling quietly. She took this roundabout struggle of a statement, as bent as it was, and calmly, firmly picked it up. Yeah, I won't know unless I try, so I want to try. Yes, it was time to try. The new apartment we had picked out was a 2-bedroom. Oh, a 2-bedroom. You know what a 2-bedroom means if you have 1 bedroom for the parents. Apart from me and Setsuna, there was room for 1 more family member to live with us. I want a child. Yours and mine. Our child. Yes. Setsuna answered straight away. I had been dithering over this for ages, and it wasn't even a question for her. I don't know how well I'll be able to raise a child, but I want to do it anyway. I want to try. I didn't know whether I could be like Setsuna's father. Maybe I would turn out to be like my own father. Oh, Setsuna's been ready for this. Setsuna's been ready to be with Haruki for a long time. Haruki's been the one running around in circles trying to figure out what he wants. So of course, she's going to answer right away as soon as he makes up his mind. I know you'll do all right, Haruki-kun. I hope so. But as long as I had Setsuna to help me, I believed that with Setsuna and the Ogiso family pulling me along, at some point something was sure to work out. Yeah. Setsuna wrapped her arms around me and embraced me tightly. I can't wait. I hope we have a boy like you, Haruki-kun. Another one of me would just be annoying, wouldn't he? I think a girl like you would be better, Setsuna. But if she's another one of me, she'll just be selfish and strong-willed, right? Then either one, I guess. Yeah, either one will be fine. I mean, they both have their issues, I guess, so somebody's gonna pass them down to the child, or it'll just be a mess of both of them. In this park, at this ungodly hour, with nobody around, we held this slightly embarrassing ceremony as husband and wife. It was so ordinary and perfectly natural, but we promised not to do it outside. Well, let's forget about that. Then, Setsuna stretched up as high as she could and brought her lips to my ear. The truth is... And with one long breath, she delivered the most timely possible news. What? It was a positive. She went to the hospital. They confirmed it. Oh, this is so sweet. Yesterday, she had learned. I was starting to wonder, since the timing would be so extraordinary if it were the case, I absolutely had to know for sure. She had slipped out of the office yesterday, she said, and gone to check. Oh my God. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. The timing is perfect. The couple is over their insecurities and growing together, and I'm just so happy for them. Did you read my thoughts? Or maybe you were the one who looked into my mind and brought it up first? I hugged Setsuna tightly, doing my best not to put too much pressure on her stomach, of course. I had felt unsure for so long. I had finally resolved myself. And yet, in an instant, it had been granted. It was absurd. It was ridiculous. It was laughable. Well, all of those mean the same thing. Hey, Haruki-kun? And I don't know why, but I was so happy. How do you not know why? This beautiful, gorgeous woman, your wife, has your child. This is an amazing thing for you. Of course you're happy. You know, before long, I won't be able to call you Haruki-kun anymore. Because I'm going to start calling you Dad. Oh, my heart. Because in this world, my family was about to grow again. Because in our new apartment, a new resident was about to join us. So I'm going to call you by name as much as I can, while I can. Haruki-kun, Haruki-kun, Haruki-kun. Congratulations. And thank you. Setsuna, Setsuna. Our embarrassing ceremony continued. Or rather, it became an even more disgraceful display. But I no longer possessed the sense of shame to care about something like that. Because right now, I was simply embracing the love of my life. Setsuna. Embracing the woman I would be calling Mom before too long. Oh my God, what a beautiful story. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that they waited. I'm glad they waited. Thank God this wasn't a big point of drama earlier on. Now that they're ready to settle down together, this is the perfect timing for this. Setsuna, we're about to leave. Get down here. On my way. Just a minute. And so at noon, finally, with the whole family present, we finished stacking up our boxes and the moving truck had already departed. Now, it was simply time for the residents to leave. Everything is gone, huh? Yeah. A short while ago, there had been a mountain of cardboard boxes here. A week ago, this place had been brimming with the smell of life. But now, it was nothing but a vacant, empty space. Our former apartment. After we left this place and went downstairs and got into the car and headed for the new place, we probably would never return here again. For 7 years we had been here, but now we would never see it again. Well, ready to go? Yeah. Maybe it was lame to get swamped with nostalgia at a moment like this, but really, so much had happened here. I think that's normal. No matter how bland or boring an apartment was, which it wasn't for them, but even if it was, it's still odd moving on with your life from something you did every day, somewhere you were every day. Not just with Setsuna, not just on my own. So many varied hours had passed. Let's go. At last, I burned the image of the empty apartment into my eyes one final time and slowly shut the door. Then I locked it. And once we returned the key to the realtor. Ah, Kitahara-san, I'm sorry to bother you, but... Yes? This was sent to you, but the address is wrong, so it was delivered to us by mistake. Ah, sorry about that. Thanks for taking the trouble of getting it to us. Somehow, right as we were bidding our final farewells, this very kind but slightly inelegant interruption broke in. I smiled with only a little bit of strain, and this time, I truly put this place full of memories behind me. Haruki-kun. What? And as I looked over my shoulder, my eyes fell on what Setsuna was holding up to me. A postcard. The photo of traditional houses lined up on an antiquated, European-looking street told me the identity of the sender in an instant. What an ending! Getting this postcard right in the nick of time. She says her show in Vienna was a massive success, and she's going to come back for the start of the new year. A postcard after all this time? She could have just sent an email. But this is just like Kazusa, isn't it? That analog touch? No, it's not like her at all. I can't believe someone that lazy would actually send a picture postcard. You're so mean, Haruki-kun. No, she was the mean one. She knew our apartment number plenty well, and yet she deliberately sent it to the apartment next to us. That she should send something to this apartment, steeped in memories, on my last day here. Okay, now let's actually get going. I'd like to be able to cook something by the end of the day at least. What are you talking about? Let's eat out. I'm sure even Mom will let us get away with that today of all days. Yeah, I guess you're probably too tired, Setsuna. Well, I'll just have to put my back into cooking up a feast for everyone. No, don't embarrass me in front of my family. Haruki-kun, you're still being mean. And so, the two of us, soon to be 3. Tomorrow, in our new home, we would begin carving out our new history. Oh, that's such a beautiful final line. Because they always talked about the 3 of us, and then it was the 2 of us, and then it was the 3 of us again. You know, that was such a big recurring sentence in White Album too. And so now here, it's Haruki and Setsuna, it's the 2 of us, and now they're becoming 3 in a different way, in their own family. Absolutely beautiful. I love this so much. So, thank you so much for joining me for the finale of Setsuna's Route in White Album 2's mini after story. And I'll be back to you with more White Album 2 content in the future. So until then, hope you take care. See you!